Hello everyone, I'm making this video to talk about the changes that are coming in next expansion, Shadow of Revan, and not just any changes, but the changes in the skill trees and that whole system. So what they're doing is completely revising the system and even renaming it to disciplines. So instead of 3 skill trees for each advanced class, we'll have 3 disciplines. Now it's not a complete change, as in they're not completely revising each class. The classes will basically remain the same. The 3 disciplines will be analogous to the 3 skill trees in the past. For example, the Juggernaut will still have 1 tanking discipline and 2 damaging disciplines and so on. The reason why they make these changes, I guess it's 3 main reasons as far as I can get. I've linked the blog post so you can read it yourself. The 3 reasons are balance, earlier feel of whatever role you've chosen, and more choice and more customization of your role. Basically, there are 2 main changes. The first one is that you will have access to the more vital skills in your tree or in your discipline much earlier. They don't give examples, but they did, I believe, exactly the same thing in World of Warcraft some years ago. So what I believe they'll do is, for example, give the Healing Inquisitor an AoE heal at level 10, or give the Focus Sentinel Zealous Leap at level 10. Perhaps they'll give the Mercenary Bounty Hunter the Electronet at level 10, something like that, something to make you feel like you really made a difference when choosing that particular discipline of your advanced class early on. So they want the tanks to feel tanky at very early levels, the healers to feel like healers, so that you won't have to wait to level 20 or 30 or 40 to get into the meat of your spec. That will certainly make leveling and playing early levels more fun. So a level 12 healing trooper commando will now be a real healer, or so they say. So the order in which you get access to your abilities will be different, and in essence, you'll be getting them earlier. Now, the second change, which appears to be the bigger change, and the one that's more interesting to me, is the utility sections. Now, I'm not sure if I'm getting this quite exactly right, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what they're doing is they're examining all the skill trees of each advanced class and deciding which of the skills are quote-unquote main or essential and which are secondary or utility. And what they're doing is they're removing those utility ones from the skill trees and presenting them in a separate utility section, this time to everyone in that advanced class. So what that means is, the example they give here is that you have access to the skill or the utility in 3.0 that gives you AoE damage reduction when you entrench as a sniper, regardless of whether you're a marksman, engineering, or lethality. Now it's locked to the marksman. They give an example here that will be available to the engineer, for example. You can probably think of similar abilities and utilities. Perhaps the ability to force choke without channeling the spell could be available to not just tanks, or maybe Corrupted Speed will be available to Madness and Lightning sorcerers, something like that. Basically, they're picking utility skills and separating them in this secondary utility section, and you'll get utility points that you can assign, and that way you'll get bigger customization and you will not be so tied to a certain tree. You'll be able to complement your current tree with utilities that were previously available to maybe to another tree, not particularly to yours. You will be able to rearrange all of that, similar to respecking, so that will provide an even wider variety of options. But ultimately, again, the 2 changes are disciplines and utilities as opposed to skill trees. A discipline mirrors a skill tree in a way that, you know, it's the same role. You will not have new roles as far as I can get. They will be smaller, so you will not be putting a discipline point, or how it's going to be called, I'm not sure exactly. Each level, they're going to be less in number. And in addition to that, you have utility points, which you will spend in utilities. These utilities will be available to all disciplines or to all skill trees. So in the words of today's system, if you pick the middle tree, you'll get the essential stuff of the middle tree, but you'll also have access to the utilitarian stuff of the left and the right tree. I do believe that's what they're trying to say here, and I hope I'm getting it correctly. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, I do believe they say, the text is not right in front of me right now, so I should probably stop and read it and come back again, but I'm pretty confident they say that you will no longer be required to purchase skills. So you'll be getting your skills automatically, which, to be honest with you, I thought it's kind of strange. I mean, it's just a strange way of dumping credits. Why make you buy skills? It's not like you have a choice. I mean, obviously you want to buy them, so it was just always some meh. Why do I have to go and buy my skills? Can't I just get them? Maybe you can flash on my screen instead of appear on the vendor, I don't know. So that was basically it for this video. The classes remain the same. At level 10 you will be picking an advanced class, and each advanced class is going to have 3 disciplines which roughly mirror the current 3 trees. You'll be getting your essential skills earlier to be able to tank, heal, or be your particular type of DPS earlier, and you'll have a wider access to utility abilities that were previously unavailable and were specific to another skill tree. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's all I'm getting from this blog post. Stay tuned and be good.